Now we will see the rest of the missionaries. The rest of the missionaries we will see. The next one will be David Brainerd. Have you heard about this? David Brainerd. Oh. He was born on 18. David Brainerd, he born on 1718. He was a missionary to the USA, or what we are calling America today. This David Brainerd was a missionary sent to the America. At the age of 9, he lost his father, or his father died. At the age of 14, his mother also died. David Brainerd, at the age of 9, his father died. At the age of 14, his mother also died. And from age 14, he became an orphan. This David Brainerd died at the age of 29. He died at a very young age. At the age of 29, he was diagnosed with TB, tuberculosis. He was diagnosed with the TB disease. He has preaching the gospel to many states on the America, mainly a particular place called Trenton and New Jersey. He was being diagnosed with the tuberculosis. So even though he was being diagnosed with the tuberculosis, he didn't stop preaching the gospel. When he was going to the nation, or when he was going to the state, when he was going to a particular town, on the way, every time as he coughs, the blood comes out of his mouth. So when he was wearing a very good white shirt and he was going to the town to preach the gospel, it will be filled with the blood, because he was being diagnosed with the tuberculosis. It is very severe on those days. Whenever he coughs, the blood comes out of his mouth. But even though he cleans his mouth, he doesn't go to any medication, he doesn't go to any hospitals. Just he went into the town, he preaches the gospel, and he comes back and he goes back again. Like that, his life has been gone. And in his lifetime, he has preached the gospel to many states in the America. Because if you see the Christian nation, America, how it has got the gospel means the David Brainerd is also one of them. Even though he was been orphan, even though he was been diagnosed with the tuberculosis, when he was also been coughing with the blood, he didn't went back. He preached the gospel. He saved many hundreds and hundreds of thousands of lives in the America, and he died. But the David Brainerd had become a inspiration to many missionaries. You are getting me? As we have seen William Carey, if you see William Carey, who inspired the William Carey means this David Brainerd. In this David Brainerd life, he did many missionary works. He inspired many missionaries by his life. Like if we see the William Carey, he says like this: life of a Brainerd is a sacred text. Life of Brainerd is a sacred text. He says like that. And you know John Wesley. He's also the one of the missionary, and he is the founder of the Methodist churches. He also says, let every preacher read carefully the life of Brainerd. He too inspired by the life of this Brainerd. Many missionaries, as we have been discussing the missionary movement, many missionaries has been inspired by this life of the Brainerd, because he was very engaged. He was diagnosed with the tuberculosis, but even though he was been preaching the gospel, he has reached many miles. If a person has got a fever, he won't come to the church, he won't come to the job, he won't come to, if he is a student, he won't go to the college. Just for a silly reason, fever. Just that's it. But assume he was been coughing with the blood coming out of his mouth on his way, but he never went back. He inspired many missionaries. As we are talking about, we are going to see a few more missionaries also, but the base of the missionary movement was this man, the David Brainerd, because before him there are only few missionaries. After David Brainerd, the missionaries have started rising. Before the David Brainerd, there are only few missionaries. But after 1718, that is after the 1740, many missionaries has been raised. Next we will see one more missionary, Jim Elliot. He was born on October 8, 1927. Did I have ever said about this Jim Elliot? Have I said? Okay. If you see this Jim Elliot life, it is also too inspiring, very inspiring. He too died at very young age, but he was a very good at the studies. He was being a graduate from the university. After being graduated from the university, the Jim Elliot and his friends came to one conclusion. In order to preach the gospel to the nations, they left their jobs, they left their studies, and they started as a missionaries. These people, the Jim Elliot and the rest of the 4 people, that is the 5 people, they started their journey to preach the gospel. To preach the gospel to some islands. Where there is no gospel, as we have been discussing about the Macedonia call. Did you remember the Macedonian call? We cannot or we should not preach the gospel where there is already the gospel. We should have to just rebuke them if they have been turning against the God. We have to preach the gospel where there is no gospel. That is the call of the Macedonia. So they have been decided and they have been looking for the nations where there is no gospel, and they came to one conclusion that many missionaries are on the 18th century. This Jimmy Elliot belongs to the 19th century. Many missionaries on the 18th century, that is like Hudson Taylor, he went to China. William Carey, he went to India. Like many missionaries, they are reaching to the nations. They came to one conclusion. They are going to the big nations. Then what about the small islands? The small islands. What about the tribes? So they came to one conclusion and they started inquired about them. And in the year of 1955, we will see first his marriage. He was been married to Elizabeth and been married on 1953. His wife name is Elizabeth. Have you ever heard about this tribe? Auca. AUCA. This Auca was a tribe which they were living in a particular island, which these islands are called nowadays Ecuador Islands. Ecuador Islands. There is a particular tribe called Auca. These Auca people are human cannibals. Human cannibals. You know cannibals. Yes, these Auca were human cannibals. So that's why no one has dared to preach the gospel to this Auka. They named their mission as Operation Auka. There were total 5 people. These are the 5 members. They went to preach the gospel to the Auka tribe, which it is in Ecuador, South America. The first one, second one, third one. On the middle one, you can see Jim Elliot. The group is totally 5 members. They started the operation called Operation Auka in order to preach the gospel to the human cannibals. In the year of 1952, they started their missionary movement, preaching to different nations before Auka. In the year of 1952, they started their missionary movement before going into the Auka. As they have finished they have preached the gospel to many islands. On 1956, they came to one conclusion. We have to preach the gospel to the Auka. So they hired a plane. They hired a plane. They went into this island, the Ecuador Island, which is situated in the southern America. So before going into the midst of this Auka, they know they are the human cannibals. So how they have preached the gospel means they have been using the flight. They have been flying around the island for many, many times. As they have been flying around, from flight, they are distributing the chocolates. They are giving some snacks through a bucket. You're getting me? This is the flight. Very small flight, not like the big flight, a small chartered flight they have hired and they have been using for the gospel. Before going into the midst of this Auka group, they know if they go into the midst of this Auka group, they will just kill them. So that's why they hired the flight and they have been flying around that island and they were stopping somewhere and they were been dropping one bucket. From that bucket, sometimes they are giving chocolates, sometimes they are giving some snacks, and sometimes they are giving some food. As like the days were going on, every day, these people of Auka were taking the gifts from the Jim Elliot and his team. You are getting me? As the days were going on, they got one conclusion that these Jim Elliot were not the harming people. So that's why they are giving the gifts, they are giving the food items, they are giving the snacks, and they were been taking. As like that, the days were going on. Like after 1 week, they too received one gift from the Auka tribe. You're getting me? For the past 7 or 8 days, they are the only one giving the snacks, food items to the people. They never came to face. They were just on the flight and dropping a bucket. From that bucket, they are distributing the snacks. As the days were going on, and after 1 week, they too received a gift. The gift is a parrot. Parrot. Yes, Maxwell, you can display it on the screen. They too received a gift from the tribe of Auka, that is the parrot. You can see on the screen, they've been taking the photo. They received a parrot from the tribe of Auka. The last one who is wearing the bag is called Jim Elliot. Which we have been discussing is not the stories, it is the history. Yes. So now what happened is, now the Auka people were trusting the Jim Elliot and his team, and the Jim Elliot were also trusting the Auka. Why? Because they were sending the gifts, and these people of Auka also, they sent one more gift. So they came to one conclusion. So they are believing in us, they are trusting us, so we have to go and preach the gospel. So before that, there were 2 people came to these 5 men or 5 missionaries. The 2 people came, and when the 2 people have came, they served some food, and they have been preached the gospel to the first 2 men. When they have heard the gospel, they were very happy, and the Jim Elliot and the 5 missionaries said to these 2 people from the Auca tribe, please, tomorrow bring your whole tribe. Tomorrow, please bring your whole tribe. We will preach the gospel and we will distribute few more snacks. As they went, on the next day, the whole tribe came to meet these 5 missionaries. This is the first time they are approaching face to face. But on every day, on those days, they're having the radio. Every day, Jimmy Elliot and the rest of the 4 missionaries talks to their wives. You're getting me? When the Jimmy Elliot went to the missionary, he is having a 1-year-old girl, child. So every day, Jimmy Elliot and the rest of the missionaries, they gives a report, because the wives of the 5 missionaries also, they are also missionaries. You're getting me? The male 5 people came to the Auca. The female 5 people, they went to some other place to preach the gospel. So every day, they will give this report, and these people will give their report. So that's how every day they have been communicating to the radio. On that day, on 1956, January 8, 1956, January 8th. On the morning, the Jimmy talked to the wife, I'm going to meet the tribes of the Auca. Today is the day which we have been waiting for, he had said. So after a few minutes, the whole tribe came to approaching the Jimmy and the people. Now what happened is, shockingly, when the tribe was coming to reach the Jimmy Elliot, they didn't came near to the Jimmy Elliot, but from very far, they started throwing the arrows, they started throwing the spears. When the Jimmy Elliot put his hand in his pocket, he got a pistol. You're getting me? He's having a pistol in his jab. He put his hand in his jab and he found a pistol. But before starting the Operation Auca, they made a pledge or oath. What is the pledge or oath means? No one should die in the Auca tribe without hearing the gospel. You're getting me? So they have seen the people were coming with the arrows. They are seeing the people were coming with the spears. In order to protect from them, he is having a pistol. He put his hand in his pocket. He found a pistol. But he remembered his oath that no one should die without hearing the gospel. If he kills someone, he will die without hearing the gospel. You're getting me? He will definitely die without hearing the gospel. So even though he is having the gun, he had a gun, but he didn't use it. The people throwed the arrows and the spears, and they killed these 5 missionaries, and they ate 5 missionaries alive. They just eaten them. So as the days were going on, the wives are not getting the report, because every day the husbands and some people who have not been married, they're talking with the sisters, they're talking with the sisters, they have been talking with the parents. From 8th January, they're not getting the radio. They have been trying so much, but they're not getting the radio. So they have reported to the government on January 13th. They sent few flights to fly around the Ecuador island, and they have found the remaining parts of these 5 missionaries. On 1956, January 13, they found that the people from the Auca, they just killed the 5 missionaries from the America, and on that day, it is a very, very, very viral news. It spread to whole nations. It spread to whole nations. So, but what happened means, the Operation Auca didn't end it. Even though the 5 missionaries has died, the Operation Auca didn't end it. After 2 years, the wife of the Jim Elliot, that is the Elizabeth Elliot, carrying the girl, which is having like around 2 or 3 years, she carried her, and she learned the language which was spoken by the Auca, and they came into the midst of the Auca tribe, and they said, I am the wife of the Jim Elliot, which you have eaten. They understood one thing, that when they are eating the Jim Elliot, they found a weapon, that is the gun. They came to one conclusion, even though Jim Elliot is having the gun, he didn't try to harm us. He didn't shot. He didn't use this weapon. We are the one who killed him. While they were been going through that, his wife came into the midst of the Auca. She preached the gospel by carrying her small child, and the people of the Auca, then they realized these missionaries are not the joke. They're sacrificing their lives for us. This Elizabeth sacrificed her husband for the sake of us, and now the whole Auca tribe is being saved. Yes. His name is Dayuma. Yes. The one who is on you are looking on the screen, his main name is Dayuma. Can you show another picture of him? Yes, you can see now he is wandering in the New York. Now he's dead, but I'm just saying, before 10 years back, he came to the New York, he came to many American states. But even though, I will say one more thing, in 2003, August 15, this man, which you are seeing on the screen, he came to India. Yes, in order to preach the gospel to us. Yeah. He is the first pastor from the Auca. He is the pastor. He is not the believer. He is a bishop to the Auca tribe. The people of our Indians were being scared because he is from the Auca tribe. He will eat someone. If he is not having a very tasty food, he will just eat our food. He will just eat our legs. He will just eat our hands. They have been terrified, and they asked, you have been mentioning you are from the Auca tribe. Do you know Jim Elliot? Do you know Jim Elliot? Do you know what he replied? I am the one who ate the right thigh of Jim Elliot. Yes. Wow. Why he was been telling like that means they're taking some competition, it seems. Before killing the Jim Elliot and the 4 missionaries, they're taking the competition, like they looks very fair. The American people, they are very beautiful, their skin is very fair. So these people were been thinking, if we eat these people, they are very tasty. So the one who strikes the first, he belongs to that man. You are getting me? They have been throwing the arrows, they are throwing the spears. If the person throws an arrow and it strikes to the body, so the one who thrown the arrow, this whole body belongs to that man. And he was the one who threw his arrow and his spear. He was the one who killed the Jim Elliot. So he can choose any part. So he has chosen the right thigh, it seems. We know in the meat, the right thigh is very tasty. Yes. Don't you eat the right thigh of the beef, chicken? The leg pieces. It is just to them, just like that. So he has eaten the right thigh, it seems. But when he replied, I have been saved by eating that man. Now I became the pastor to the Auca tribe. The whole nation of the Auca was being saved today. So the missionaries who they did the missionary work was not easy. They sacrificed their lives. He too died in the age of 28. When he was 28 years old, 28, he died. He died for the Christ. Assume he is having a lot of future. He was just been married, it's like only 2 or 3 years. He is having 1-year-old child. But even he gave the first preference to the Lord. Rather than his family, rather than his daughter, he gave his first preference to the Lord. He died when he was aged 28 years. But the mission, what they did, it didn't ended. The families, they took up. They didn't complain about these people also. You're getting me? They didn't complain. They didn't complain. Why you killed my husband? You killed my husband. Now I am a widow. They didn't complain like that. But they went into the midst of the Auka. They preached the gospel. There is a very beautiful sentence he has said. No fool who gives what he cannot keep to gain that which he cannot lose. You are getting? Are you getting the meaning? If you are getting the meaning, I will just go into the next topic or the next missionary. If not, we will discuss about it. Yes, he is no fool means the person which he is talking about. No one is a fool. I will explain like this. No one is a fool. You are getting me? For example, there are 2 markers. You are getting me? There are 2 markers. Assume this one will long for like 1 week. After 1 week, it can't be used. You are getting me? After 1 week, this marker cannot be used. I am having one more marker also. But this marker can stay for as long as I will live. That is like 100, 200 years for eternal. You're getting my point? I'm having 2 markers, which is having only 1 week of duration time, but the another one which is having like the eternal lifetime. So, if I give you to choose one, which one you will choose? This one or this one? The eternal one. Because you and me, we are not the fool. We know which is having for longest duration. This is what he is saying. We are not the fools to keep the soul which is going to be died anyhow, the body. But our soul which is going to stay forever. You're getting my point? In order to lose something, which one I will like to lose means the one which is having smallest or shortest duration. But which one will I keep it? The eternal one. You are getting me? So that's how he said, I'm going to lose my body because it is very shortest period of time. But I'm getting the eternal life. You're getting my point? So there is no one fool to keep the one which he cannot keep and to gain which he cannot lose. This is the statement the Jim Elliot said. Then we will look after one more missionary. David Livingstone. David Livingstone. Have you ever heard about this David Livingstone? He is the one who preached the gospel, or he is the missionary who came to Africa continent. David Livingstone. He was born on 19th March 1813 in a very, very poor family. But anyhow, he became a doctor. He was a doctor. Even though he was very poor, He was a physician and a very well-known doctor. So if we see his life, soon after he becoming the doctor, the parents, the relatives advised to this Livingston. Livingston, you have gone through very harsh conditions in your life. Now you can establish a very good hospital. Now you can become the owner of your hospital. Now you can choose your career. But what he did is, he didn't gone to become a doctor, but he went to preach the gospel to the African continent. The people or the relatives were saying, are you joking? Because to become a doctor, it is not a joke. But even after becoming the doctor, why you are still going as a missionary? Then what is the use of this doctor? But even though he didn't listen, he came to the Africa with his wife. He was preaching the gospel here. When he came to the Africa continent, he was being preached like around 13 countries in Africa. He introduced the gospel to 13 countries. While the journey was going on one day, the parents and the relatives were saying, don't go to the Africa, it is quite tough because you are white man and you cannot sustain in the weather conditions of the Africa. And this man, he was been traveling to one country and to another country, one country to another country, and he was passing through the wilderness. You're getting me? So the wilderness in those times, it is not easy. They're not having the lights, they're not having anything. But even though he said, no, I cannot come back. But on one day, while he was going on the boat, his boat was wrecked. And because of that, and they sustained, but the mosquitoes in the wilderness has bitten the David Livingstone, his wife, and some of the missionaries. But among them, few of them were died along with the wife of David Livingstone. The wife has died in the wilderness of this Africa when she was being bitten by mosquito. Before that, the ship was wrecked. So he went back with the body of the wife. He gave the body to the people in the England and UK, and he came back again. While he was being again started journey, in the walking of wilderness, they are having one condition, like if 10 people were going on the wilderness, if 10 people are going on the wilderness, the 10 people are not allowed to sleep at a time. You are getting me? In the night, if the 10 people are going on the wilderness, will the 10 people will sleep at a time? You are not thinking about it. No, they will keep among one them as a guardian. As a guardian or like a watchman to give some instructions from the animals. If anything approaches, they have to alert. He has to alert. So the 9 people and the rest of the missionaries were being sleeping. And the duty came to the David Livingstone. He was being sitting on a tree. Suddenly at one time, he just went to sleep. He's having the job of guardian. Suddenly, he went into the sleep. When he woke up his eyes, there was a big lion facing the David Livingstone. Yes, on that time, he tried to run away from it, but the lion has slashed with his hands or with his legs to the David Livingstone. The meat on the shoulder came out of it. Assume a lion, very near, it's just slashed with his nails. The meat from the shoulder came out of it. Anyhow, he sustained. They came out of that wilderness and they again started their preaching. But from that day onwards, he cannot lift his shoulder. You're getting me? His shoulder has become a fracture. He cannot lift his shoulder. Now again, the parents were calling and they're writing some letters. David Livingstone, now what happened is happened. Now come on. We will live a very better life. Come on. They have been requesting, but he said, no. I cannot come back. While again they started their journey preaching the gospel, they have finished the gospel in one country, now they are visiting the other country. In order to go to the another country, again they have to pass through the wilderness. You're getting me? As nowadays we are having the roads, nowadays we are having the flights, we can reach a country by country. But in those olden days, they have to walk through the wilderness. When they are walking through the wilderness, suddenly a poisonous tree, the thorns which is having, it slashed into the eye of the David Livingstone. He lost his eye. You're getting me? But again, he went to one other country. He preached the gospel. Now again he got the letter from the parents. David Livingstone, come on. Come back. Come back to the United Kingdom. We'll have a better life. But even he didn't went. Again he started preaching the gospel to some other nation. While he was passing through again some wilderness, on this time, some insect or some bug which is having the poison, has bite the leg of the David Livingstone. Now he cannot walk properly. He cannot use his one hand properly. He cannot see from his one eye. He cannot walk now. He has to walk from one leg. But even though he didn't went back. Like that he has preached the gospel to the Africa continent, to 13 different countries. He traveled 2,500 miles. He traveled 2,500 miles and given baptism to more than 100,000, the people assume. Many people are being saved. Many people. And he was died in Zambia. You know Zambia? While he was preaching the gospel in the Zambia, he died in Zambia. But when he died, the people of Zambia, what they requested is, please keep the heart of Livingstone here. You're getting me? When he died in the Zambia, the other missionaries were carrying the body of the David Livingstone to their nation. But the people of Zambia requested, please, his heart burned for our nation. So please, while you're going, give his heart. So they opened the body of the David Livingstone. They took the heart of the David Livingstone and they buried in the nation. Because see how much they have been giving the respect to this David Livingstone. This David Livingstone, he's the major missionary to preach the gospel to the Africa continent. Now we will see one more missionary, Mary Jones. Born on this Mary Jones is from the UK and a place called Wales. Wales. Do you know who is the one behind this Bible? Or can you open your Bible and you will see on the first page like the Bible Society. As we have purchased our Bibles from India, we are having Bible Society of India. Which society you are having in your Bibles? On the first page. Because the one which we have been purchasing the Bibles, it had some society. If we are purchasing from India, we are having the Bible Society of India. We call BSI. Here you can see BSI. You getting me? As like you are having Bible Society International. So what is the history behind this Bible Society means? If there is no Bible society, we wouldn't have got these Bibles nowadays. Because they took the initiative to print the Bible. Because in those olden days, to purchase a Bible, it is quite expensive. We can purchase a land. You're getting my point? If you are buying the Bible, we can purchase the land with the same amount. So why it came to very affordable price means this is the woman behind it, the Mary Jones. I will say her little bit of life. So this Mary Jones, when she was aged like 10 or 11 years, she was been going to the church. On the church, on every day, on every Sunday, they are having the Sunday school. On Sunday school, every time they are teaching about one story from the Bible. You are getting me? If they are preaching about one story this Sunday in the Sunday school, then the next story they can hear on next Sunday. As the days were going on, the Mary Jones has got so much of interest. And she requested to the Sunday school teacher, "Teacher, can I have the Bible? Because I cannot wait for 1 week because I will just complete the whole Bible. Please allow me to take the Bible." Then she replied, No, I cannot give, because in those olden days, the Bible is very precious. Very precious. They are having a limited copy. Like in one country, they are having 5 or 10 copies. You're getting my point? In the whole country, they are having only 5 or 10 copies. So the Sunday school teacher said, No. Then she asked her, "How can I get a Bible?" So she replied, You have to purchase the Bible. In the 17th century, the Bible cost is around 40 pounds. That means it is around like 5,000 or 6,000 nowadays. 6,000 Kenya shillings in 17th century means, assume. It is just like 600,000 or 6 million. You're getting me? This is not the price of today. This is the price in those days, in 17th century. So she said, you need to have 40 pounds in order to purchase the Bible. Means if she is having the 40 pounds, she can purchase a small amount of land. So she asked her. The school teacher replied, you need to have 40 pounds, but she is very young, she cannot afford it. So what she did is, every day when she goes to the school and comes back from school, she started working. You're getting me? She started working in order to save the money to purchase a Bible. Like that, every day after coming from the school, she is going to some other houses to wash the utensils. She is going to some other houses to wash the clothes. She is going into the field to crops. And she is doing many things. Like that, she has been doing like 6 years. She was doing the work every day, even though she was very young. She worked for 6 years and she saved the money which she has been got from the work. You're getting me? 6 years continuously she worked to save the money to afford a Bible. After 6 years, she got the money of 40 pounds, what she was wanted. Assume 6 years means this is the 6 years salary. You're getting my point? 6 years she worked and saved means this is the salary of 6 years. Can we give the whole 6 years salary to purchase a Bible? The whole 6, not 6 months, not 6 days, the whole 6 years salary. But she did. So she asked to the school teacher, where can I purchase? Now I'm having the money. So she said, you cannot find in the Wales. You have to go to a particular place called Bala. It is like 42 kilometers from Wales. So how can she travel means, If she travels on a bus or if she travels on any other transport, the money which she gathered will be used for the transportation. You're getting me? Again, she will have to work for 6 more months or 1 year. So what she did is, I cannot wait to purchase a Bible. She walked on barefoot. She's not even having the slippers. She walked for 42 kilometers and went to a place, and then she reached a bishop called Charles. He's the one who is in charge of that Wales. And she asked to the Charles, Bishop Charles, can I have the Bible because I'm having the money. I'm having the 40 pounds. But his full name is Thomas Charles. His full name is Thomas Charles. But what happened is, he said, I'm out of Bibles. She waited for 6 years, but he's not having the stock. He's not having the stock. He said, no. If I am having, I would have given you, but I'm not having the Bible, so they are out of stock. She just collapsed there and started crying because she was waited for that very moment in his life. She was waited. But after seeing the Mary Jones, this Thomas Charles, what he did is, he handed over his own Bible. After seeing her interest, he handed over the Bible of his own. So how it became to many nations means, after seeing the life of Mary Jones, this Thomas Charles had created a society. With his other people, they created one society, and they want to give the Bibles those who are having the interest. They came on one slogan. They started giving the Bibles at very affordable price, like 2 or 1 pound on those days, with very affordable price to whole Wales. They have started distributing the Bibles to the Wales. They have completed on Wales. Now they came to one slogan like, if it is for Wales, why not for the United Kingdom? If for Wales, why not for United Kingdom, that is UK? Because this Wales was a small town in United Kingdom. First, they have given the Bible to the Mary Jones. After seeing her interest, they gave the Bibles to whole town of Wales. After giving the Bible to the whole Wales, now they came to one conclusion: if we have given the Bibles to the Wales, why not for whole United Kingdom? You're getting me? After giving for the United Kingdom, if for UK, why not for whole world? So this is how we got the Bibles. So the one who behind this Bible society is Mary Jones. By seeing the life of the Mary Jones, Thomas Charles and few other, they started a society, and for 200 years, now we are still having these societies. If anyone wants to purchase a Bible, we will only get from the Bible Society. As in India, we are having Bible Society of India, you are having Bible Society International. In England, they are having Bible Society of England. Like each nation, they are having their own Bible societies. So that's how we got the Bibles. After receiving the Bible, still in UK, there is one museum. They kept the Bible which the Mary Jones used. The scholars or the historian says the Mary Jones read the Bible every day for 5 hours. Daily after receiving the Bible until her death, until her death, she read the Bible for at least 5 hours in a day. Now they have kept the Bible in the museum. So this is the history of the Bible. The Bible, as we are discussing the bibliology, it has been gone through the preservation, translations, but how it became affordable. You're getting me? But in 17th century, it's not affordable. Only the rich people can buy the Bible. On the 16th century, only the popes can have the Bible. But after the Reformation, only the rich people can afford the Bible. But after this, that is after 1802, they created the society and they started building the societies in every nation. From 1802, it became very affordable. The Bible became very affordable to each man. I was born in Prussia. Prussia means not the Russia. Nowadays, it is called Germany. George Muller, if you see his life, he is a thief. His father is a tax collector of the government, but he steals the money from his father every day, every time. And he was being scolded by the father, beaten by the father many times. And if he goes to the school, in the school also he continues the same thing, to steal. Stealing from the people. And many things, his initial days was very, very bad. He was very drunk man. When his mother died, he was having a party with his friends. He knows his mother has died, but he was still drinking and he was doing some party with the friends. Sometimes he goes to the hotel and he stays there. Suddenly he escapes from the hotel without paying the money. He goes to the restaurants, he eats. Without paying, he will just escape from the restaurants. And one day they caught him and they put in the jail for a whole 1 month. He was been habituated to the wine, cigarettes, many things. But when he had attended, I'm just telling on a small brief summary. When he attended a small meeting which was conducted by his friends, there he heard the gospel and it changed the life of the George Muller. So from the day onwards, what he did is he married to his wife and they started one orphanage. In those days, he is from Germany, but he did his missionary in London. He did his missionary in the London. In those days, it is not very old. It is just like 19th century. He was just 19th century. So, in those days, in whole UK, they are having only 12 orphanages. But in order to go to the orphanages, they have to pay some money. Even for the orphanage also, the one who are running, they're taking the fees. So this George Muller came and he established the orphanage. He started with one girl, it went to 300, next 500, next 1,000 to 10,000. Initially he was a thief, but later he became a father to the 10,000 people. He is serving the food to these children or orphanages every time. His life says every day is a miracle, it seems, because in order to feed the 10,000 people, it's not a joke. On one day, they were been having the dinner time. On the dinner time, all the children gathered to the dining hall. They were asking to the George Muller, where is the food? But he said, first give the thanksgiving to the Lord. Because if we see the food, we will give the thanksgiving. Lord, thank you for giving this food. We will pray like that. He said, give the thanksgiving. But when they have finished giving the thanksgiving, they heard their door was being beaten by someone. They went and said, he has seen one man was having the two vans. In those two vans, he is carrying the food. He asked, why you are carrying this food? And he was to give to the children of the orphanage. He asked George Miller, why you have been giving the food? They said, we have been having one marriage ceremony here, but the marriage ceremony was cancelled, so we don't know what to do with the food, so that's why we are giving out the food. Yes, like that. And one other day also, same incident happened. Same incident, the people, on the morning the children gathered, they are asking for the milk, but the milk didn't arrive. But when they have stopped giving the thanksgiving, they heard the noise from the door. Again, a one man came and he gave the milk. How he gave the milk means he is the driver of a milk van. Suddenly, his milk van has broken just near to this orphanage home. So in order to repair the milk van, it will take some time. Up to that time, the milk will be spoiled. So that's why he gave the milk. Like that, initially he was a thief, but later he was a father to these 10,000 orphanages in the London. He was also a very good missionary who did many great things in the London. So that's why we have covered many missionaries from India, from Africa, from UK, from USA, from London. So these are the lives of the missionaries who worked very hard for the sake of the gospel. This is about modern church history. But the thing is, we are on the very, very last stage. That is, we can call this time also like Reformation. Reformation means to change. Reformation means to change. As we have in the modern church history, we have gone through Reformation. The second one, forgotten. That is the thing we have been discussing for 2 days. Yes, missionary movement. Now, the C, that is, we can say like Reformation or like the era of mightiest prophets of the Lord. That is the repentance. And this is the last stage. This is the last stage. Because soon we are going to the rapture. We are going to see the Messiah coming. This is the last stage. We have seen the Reformation. We have seen the missionary movement. But now we are witnessing this era with our own eyes. You are getting me? We have heard about the Reformation time. We have heard about the missionary movement. But now we are not hearing. We are just witnessing the greatest movement on this earth. That is the era of the mightiest prophets of the Lord. So we are on the last stage. Please keep on your minds. This last stage is just like the Israelites' journey. Yes, we are very near to the Kadesh. So at the Kadesh, many people died. Many people, they didn't enter into the Canaan. Even though they have reached up to the Kadesh, they didn't enter into the Canaan. On this last stage, we are also like the journeys of the Israelites going into the heaven. Please bear for some more time. Keep your faith. Hold your faith. Because one day the Messiah is going to come. We are going to be on the rapture. If we have been not on the list of the rapture, then we cannot assume what we can go through the tribulations. So we are on the very, very last stage as we are discussing the church history. And the church history, this is the last stage. After we are going into the rapture, there will be church. No church. There will be no church. There will be no church. This is the last part of the church history. So please hold on your faith until the Jesus comes. Thank you so much. Thank you.